Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Joklifaldi, and now I want to explain from chapter 1 until chapter 5. In the chapter 1 about introduction small firms policy or markets occurs at what economics describe as will demonstrate the macroeconomic environment in which firms exist and operate shaped by governments and other agencies operating at different spatial levels, firms and consumers regarding production and consumption, so those individual producers and consumers help to shape the economic as a whole that behavior in and in the chapter 2 about the market boost economy, we saw in chapter 1 that economic scarcity gives rise to the key problem of supply, problem of resource system, and a free market economic system, one where individual buyers and sellers determine how, while others have a preference for a free market approach combining with a significant approach we have described as a market-based economy, which is now the dominant form of economic system following the collapse of the old-style planned economic. In put at its simple, a market-based economy is one in which most economic decisions in free market through a system of price to determine of the allocation of resources. Resources are in private ownership and individuals owning them are free to use them as they wish. Firms also in private ownership are equally able to make decisions on production free from state interference. No blueprint exists to direct production and consumption. Decision on resource allocation are the result of a decentralized system or market enterprise in which the decision of millions of consumers and hundreds of thousands of firms are automatic coordinate. The consumer is sovereign, dictates the pattern of supply and hence the pattern of resource allocation from the firms using that resource, and this allow them to purchase goods and services in the market for product, which in the turns provide an income for firm a particular type of productive which in turn provide an income for firms a particular type of productive resource increase, say, as a result of an increase in the demand for the product produced by that resource. The price paid to the provider of the resource will then to rise and hence, other things being equal, allow more output to be purchased. This matching of supply and demand through price in market has been described in the manner suggested above. Firms, after all, are included by cost and supply decision, not for that matter is a market-based economic devoid of government of the market economy. Need to include the macroeconomic role of government in the chapter 3 about modeling the macroeconomy, the flows of economic activity, flow of economy, resource inter firms which are used to from firms to providers of those resources who use them primarily to these flows of resource production, income, and expenditure. Accordingly represent the fundamental activities of an economy at in effect. Firms use economic resources to produce goods and services, which are these consumption gives rise to a flow of expenditures that reference an income for firms, which they use to purchase further research. In order to this flow of income and expenditures is the interrelationship between the income flow and real flows can be seen by combining group operate in the economy. Firms as producer and user of research, and private individual as consumer and provider of this research are shown by the arrow moving in the anti-clockwise direction. Income flows by the despite a degree of oversimplification. The model of the economic illustration in economic activity which are of direct relevance to the study of business. Income flows. These income flows, what constitutes the output of firms, the use of research, level of income, in the chapter 4 about government and the macroeconomy objective spending and firms continue to shed labor and to hold back on investment. Household is only one type of consumption in the real economy. This spending, as indicated above, come from consumer, firms, government, and external sources, and collectively can be said to represent total demand in the economy for goods and services. Aggregate monetary demand, consumer spending plus investment spending minus import spending. With this equation, consumer spending is regarded as by far the most important component element of AMD. To its widely accepted that government have a crucial role. Government policy on spending and taxation on interest rates clearly have effect both the demand and supply side of the economy. It's a variety of ways. In the chapter 5 about government and the macroeconomy, policy pursues within the framework of a market-based economy, guarantee that the free market will ultimately deliver this objective to the stabilization working of the economy to push in the direction consistent with their set aims.
My name is Nurhalisah. I want to present about part 12 in the chapter 6 about government and the microeconomy. A command of government can apply macroeconomy policy in pursuit of their science, the policy. As we have seen, impact but indirectly and indirectly on that a government is in an powerful position to determine economic success, or will there in that government can have impact on the business scale. It is a debate how far an individual government is able to push the economy in direction. A chapter 10 on the single European currency, which can limit a government freedom of economic decisions, making a growing number of observers now believe that globalization in this recognises the impact of government in shaping in the favorable economic climate which business can forecast by definition. In the chapter 7 about the role of financial institute interaction in the macroeconomy between governments, business, and customer take place within an institutional environment that includes a large number of financial within a market business economy. These institutions fulfill a vital role in channeling fund borrow in order to consume or even economy institution. In the chapter 8 about international economy institutional of organization giving that external factor constrain the ability of governments to regulate their economy. It is appropriate to conclude this analysis of the macroeconomic context of business with a brief review of a number of important international economic institutions and organizations which affect the trending environment on the European Union, was the discussed in chapter 10. Part 13. In the chapter 1 about introduction, new classic economy sees labor as one of factor of production exchange in markets like other commodities and governed by the law of demand of supply. People, however, are important in the economy by product and customer of goods and service. For mass product, people are the most important input into the production process. Therefore, the quantity and quality of labor available in an economy will have a considerable impact upon the economy's ability to produce. The quantity and quality of labor available depend upon many factors, including total population size, participation rate, and the level of education and training one. In this chapter, we start by definition basic term and looking at trends in the labor market in the UK and the EU. The new classical theory of the labor market is being considered along with other of modern theories or analysis accordance with an examination of a range of contemporary issues relevant to organization. In the chapter 2 about labor market trend, the workforce is the number of people who are eligible and available to work, and over themselves up as size. The size of the working will be determined by cultural and political factors such as the age at which people can enter employment and the age at which they leave employment. In the UK, the retirement age for men is and for one woman will be a year by the year 2020.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Tohan Sabudi. I want to present part 13, chapter 3 until chapter 7. In the chapter 3 about traditional labor market economies, we now turn to more theoretical considerations. Neoclassical economists sees labor as one of the factors of production, and in the short run, it is the only variable factor. If the firm wishes to increase production in the short run, it can only do so by using more labor. In the longer run, the firm can also use more capital and or land. In the chapter 4 about human capital, approach investment in the education, helps the individual to find employment, like investment in machinery, investment in human capital involves financial outlay. A useful technical use in investment appraisal is cost benefit analysis, which compress the cost and benefits of the project 6. In the chapter 5 about segment labor market theory, segment the labor market theory takes the view the traditional neoclassical view of the working of the labor market is inadequate. It sees the labor market as fragment into numerous non-competing groups. The markets for skilled manual workers in the car industry and doctor, for example. In the chapter 6 about other theoretical approach to the labor market, the three revolutionary new approach in business economics discusses in chapter traditional cost economy, principle agent theory, and team production can all be used in the analysis of labor markets. In cases about new classical economics is where the differentials as legally can use be difference in the marginal productivities of workers. In the chapter 7 about labor market policies in the UK, we traditionally distinguish between four different types of trade unions. One, craft unions represents one particular of craft or skill, like the bear markets union, which was formed in and west for leisure sleeper craft union. The traders union congress with the market with B GMB. They were the earliest type of union. Two, industrial unions have members doing the different jobs but in the same industry.
My name is Firdayanti. I will explain part 14 in the chapter 1 until 5. In the chapter 1 about introduction, in chapter 1 business activity was portrayed as an exactly linear process in which firms and other organizations operating against a background of multiple external influences acquire and transfer inputs into outputs for consumption purposes. Well, this approach has much to recommend it, not least its emphasis on the interaction between an organization internal and external context. It does not entirely capture the complexity of business activity in the real world, nor does it always highlight the constraints palettes upon the economic system by the natural environment or the full cost to society of production on concerted process. In the chapter 2 about linking the firm and the natural environment, in beginning to explore some of the important interaction between firm and the natural environment, it is as follows to return to the generic model of business activity that was introduced in the opening chapter. Firms were present and transformers of its inputs into outputs, which were consumed by individuals to satisfy their demands, thereby creating what we subsequently refer to as utility. In the chapter 3 about the problem of free goods and eternal, well, the natural environment support economic activity the process of production and consumption, as we have seen, can create problems within the environment, which is part of the usual list in the of free goods. In the chapter 4 about government approach to environmental problems concerns such as ozone depletion and global warming to more localized problems such as poor air quality in cities or oil spills in environmentally sensitive areas. As the example above illustrate, environmental problems resulting from human behavior vary along a number of dimensions, including 1. Geographical scale, local, natural, regional, global. 2. The duration, short-term, long-term, permanent. 3. Social, individual, pillar, industry, all of us. In the chapter 5 about accessing environmental impact techniques and approaches, decision makers in both government and business have a number of techniques and approaches and their disposal when seeking to assess the environmental impact of particular projects, plan programs, and or places.
My name is Elisa Putri. I will explain about chapter 6 until chapter 9. In the chapter 6 about linking economy and environment, the nation of sustainable development historically, economic development and growth through business activity have been portrayed as beneficial to the well-being of society and as an important influence of the quality of life for its citizens. Accordingly, organizational practice and process designed to increase production and consumption, while economic growth still remains an important objective of government. Concern about its environmental and social consequences has increasingly become part of the political agenda at both national and international level. In the chapter 7 about driver for change, reference to state interpretation via legislation and regulation has been made in previous section. It is worth reiterating, however, that in the context of the sustainable development debate, pressure for change has grown gradually over time and has occurred at a variety of spatial levels. In the chapter 8 about potential benefit of greener approach, business strategies and organizations have already generated a considerable amount of pro-environmental jargon. Pollution prevention pays, wipe off waste, and waste reduction always pays are some of the better known acronyms. In chapter 9 about responsibility and business objective, classical economists tend to start from the proposition that the primary responsibility of a business is to the profit of capital. All organizational resources should be dedicated to making profits and that any deviation from this by managers. Under this approach, company management will only be justified in sanctioning for sustainable form of behavior if they add more to the organization revenue that in cost.